Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how things went down yesterday. Ignore my shiny face and my tan line because, like, I wore sunglasses and I didn't wear any sunscreen, so I'm burned and I have tan lines and it was bad. Just don't look at my eyes, okay? But, so I drove up to Atlanta Friday and I got there Friday night and I wake up Saturday morning at 6:30. Go to the park at 7. There's no one there. We're like, okay, well, we'll come back at like 8:30. So we go back at 8:30. There's only like one other person there. So we sit, me, my mom, and Allison. We're just like waiting for the park to open. So then at like, and then at like 9, We the Kings' tour bus pulls up. And we're like, we didn't see them or anything, but we knew it was them because it was like the driver and everything. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So we saw their bus and we're like waving at them. We're like, hey. I think they were sleeping though. And then, they were like, okay, you can go sit in the line now. So me and Allison are very first people sitting in line. Then we're like the very first people in. And then we're very first people to get VIP passes. Woo. We waited outside of the candy store to get the VIP bracelets. These. Because I was not going to miss out on that this time. So we like walk to go to the back. And they're like, oh, this area's closed. And we're like, okay, so we go around the other way. And they're like, oh, this area's closed. And we're like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here till this area is open. So then we get there. And then we go in front of the amphitheater and we wait. From like 10 o'clock until 2. Sitting in front of the amphitheater. And we made friends. I saw like Jesse and people from like Tumblr and stuff, and I made friends. Yay! Hi friends, if you're watching this. Okay, and we kept taking pictures of me with my face and Alice with the face and tweeting them to John as someone and tweeting them like, come save us, ha. Hoping they would like come out and find us, but no. Of course they didn't. And then, first time I got screwed over. Apparently they had 6 VIP passes to hand out. And they gave one to this girl who was just like chilling there. And we go over and they're like, oh, sorry, we gave out all 6. I have no clue they gave them to. Obviously, not people, the people that had been sitting there for like 4 hours at this point. I think, no, 3 hours. It was like 1 when this happened, I guess, around there. But I was like, wow. And so I went to the security guard. It's like, there's no one else giving them out. It was only those 6. And they're like, yeah, they sent out a tweet about it. They didn't send out a tweet about it. Those pissed me off. So then at like 2, the radio station came and they started setting up. So like we like ran over there, me and Cher just like chilling there, and then everyone else comes up, and then they're like, hey, you can't stand on this side of the tent. And we're like, okay. So we like move around to the other side. We like push our way, so we're like kind of at the front. And then they're like, okay, well, we're not giving away meet and greet until 4, so you guys need to disperse and come back at 4. And I'm like, so leaving won't ruin our chances at meet and greet, will it? And they're like, oh no, you're fine. I'm like, so we can still win meet and greet if we go and come back. They're like, yeah. I was like, and we gotta go. And they're like, yes, you have to go. And I'm like, we come back at like 3:58 or like a little before 4, so we're like here for the giveaway. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, okay guys, let's go. So then we go and we go get drinks, and Perrin and Abby get these, and we come back. They give them away. Like right when we were walking up, they finished giving them away, and we're like, what? So we go up to the people, and I'm like, hey, bro. Oh, I didn't say bro. I was like, excuse me. We were told to come back at 4, blah, 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 blah. They're like, oh, well, the manager told us to give it away at 4, and then they told us to give it away early. I'm like, okay, so this isn't y'all. This is the manager. Like, yeah, we only had 5 to give away, and we couldn't help it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do about this? They're like, well, you can go talk to the manager of the park. I'm like, where can I find them? Like, I don't know, at the front where you came in. I was like, okay, come on, guys, let's go. So we start going, and then I see these people in, like, button-ups standing around holding, like, trash picker uppers, and they have name tags. So I go up to them and it says like supervisor and like manager and stuff like that. And I'm like, excuse me, this is what just happened to me. I was screwed over. I came here. I drove 8 hours to get here. I've been here since 8 in the morning. I've been sitting up there since 10. I was staying at that tent for 2 hours or an hour and a half, something like that. I go away. I come back 10 minutes before they tell me to, and they've already given them away. And they said this is all manager's fault. And they're like, what? So I like explain it again, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna call somebody. You just take a seat over there and we'll call someone. I'm like, okay. So the 3 of us go sit, and then eventually this lady comes, the lady who gave out the 6 that they didn't tweet about. She's like, sorry guys, there's something I can do about that. It's the tour manager that only allows us to give out this many. I was like, okay, well, but the radio people told us this was you. And she's like, oh, I can't control them. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up. You screwed me over. Like, if I had left just because I felt like leaving and I had missed out, okay, yeah, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I'd be upset, but I wouldn't be mad. But they told us to leave. Like, this is all them. And then, so she's like, okay, well, I see that you have the VIP wristband, so we've sold 100 of those, sell 100 of those, something like that. And so, how about you go find yourselves a nice seat and you just go enjoy the show? I'm like, okay, thanks. So I go back, and I see Dylan. And I go up to Dylan, I'm like, hey, Dylan, okay, so blah, blah, I give him the whole lowdown. And a security person walks over, and she's like, oh, yeah, sorry, we can't help you about that. He's like, there's nothing I can do. I was like, there's nothing you can do. You can't, like, tell them. It's like, no, like, they want to come out, but Six Flags doesn't let them. It's stupid. And I was like, wow, I came all the way from Louisiana for this. He's like, oh, dude, when I saw that our original tour list, we actually had New Orleans date, and I was really excited because I haven't been to New Orleans since, like, April, but it got taken off before it was, like, set in stone. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, there was supposed to be a show in New Orleans for the Somerset. Like, I'm getting ready to cry again because I'm so angry about this. Like, I need to find out what venue this is supposed to be at so I can write them a strongly worded letter. I write the House of Blues every month, okay? Like, this is something I feel very strongly about. But so, yeah, and I gave him the book that I made for the guys and it just had, like, quotes and doodles about everything's fine and, like, quotes that I like about life and a letter to each of them and a letter to the band and a little thing that said John, picture of a whale. Whale, you go to homecoming with me. And, like, tour stashes that I made out of paper and just really cool things, I guess. And Band-Aids and stickers and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is really cool, I'll give it to him. I was like, thanks. And then Perrin was like, can I have a sticker? And I was like, can I have a sticker too? And I gave stickers. And I like stickers. I'm like, just so you know, everything is not fine. And I'll be back. And all the girls behind me are like, oh, wait, just leave already. It was really funny. But yeah, so I'm walking back. And I'm like really upset and pissed, ready to cry. And then like I tell it to Allison. And then I tell it to my mom. And I started crying because I was so pissed. So my mom went to go talk to someone. And she came back later and saying she couldn't do anything. But I watched Downtime Fiction and that was fun. And then the Somerset came out, and I had my face, and the security guard that was standing right in front of me, she's like, oh, that's cool. I was like, yeah, it's so simple. She's like, yeah, I know. That's why I said it was cool. I was like, okay, well, some people don't know this. And she's like, okay. And then the Somerset came out, and Allison's like, eep, and I started crying just a little bit. It was really hard. I was trying really hard not to cry, and I was singing along. And then John started singing, and Where Are You Now? And I was bawling, like, I could not help it. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure Steven saw my face, because I was holding up the face, like, all the time. And I'm pretty sure a photographer took a picture of the face, so if you see a picture of the fans with someone holding up a face, that'd be me. I was in the very, very front, like, right in front of John, really excited. I don't think John even saw me, though, which makes me want to cry. But, so I was, like, crying that entire set. And then I took the face to Dylan and asked him to give it to them, along with the book, and he said he would. Oh, and I also gave the Downtown Fictions merch guy the certificate, and it said, like, Outstanding Student Award goes to, and I, like, these were those little, like, toy certificates you get when you're in, like, kindergarten, when you play school all the time. It was, like, to Eric Jones for being the man from Mira on 7/23/11, because, like, he's going to school. He's making all A's, so he needs a certificate, and apparently he got it, and he loved it. Yay! I don't know if the Somerset got their book, though, because none of them tweeted about it. I put my name in there, though, like my Twitter thing, and Dylan said that he gave it to them. I hope he gave it to them. I hope someone tweets me back about getting it. Anyway, oh yeah, so then I was just, like, chilling, trying really hard not to cry. It wasn't working, and Hannah came over, she's like, hey, are you okay? I was like, I was just sobbing. And she's like, me too, you want to come sit with us? So I went and sat with Hannah, and she would just, like, look at me like, I was like, I'm okay, everything's fine. Oh, and when the Somerset first came out, and the security guard was standing right in front of me, like, I was crying, and she was just looking at me like, I was like, I was just, like, hiding behind the face whenever I was crying. I was, like, holding it up, and it was really sad, and I felt really pathetic. I probably creeped Steven out really bad. That's okay, though. I'm pretty sure Jess saw me, too. But, oh, yeah, and then, like, I was really exhausted, thought I was going to pass out during We the Kings, but then they played, like, my favorites, so I started rocking out. And after the show, Allison and I walked around, like, forever, looking for the guys. Apparently Somerset had left. I didn't know that, but at, like, 10, I got back to my hotel, and I was, like, so sad. I was crying a lot. And I tweeted, in my hotel, crying because I didn't meet the John set, not gonna lie, and he tweeted me back, saying, oh, no good, don't do that, and that made me really happy, so then I was crying, happy tears, and I was like, Mom, let's go to North Carolina, blah, 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 and we actually were gonna go, like, she texted my dad saying we were gonna go, but then It's a 14-hour drive from North Carolina to New Orleans, and she has work in the morning and I have camp. Like, we thought it was going to be like a 10, 11-hour drive. We thought that was going to be okay, but 14 hours we just can't do, which is really, really upsetting. So I just need to go see them as soon as possible. But on the drive back, I checked Facebook, and I won 2 tickets to work, so, yay! But yeah, that's pretty much everything that went down. I can't find the stop.